We have come to the final piece to explore in our own unique God-given shape. The E stands for experiences. And whether you are just starting out in your journey with God or you've been travelling with Him for some time, you have a wealth of experiences that you've lived through that influence and frame the unique way you see the world and inform the choices you make each day. But before we take a closer look at our own personal experiences, let's just start with a promise that reassures us of God's presence with us and intention towards us. It's found in Romans 8:28. It says, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose." Notice the fourth word in the text, all. God's promise is that He will take all, absolutely every experience we have ever had, are currently living through, or yet to have, and cause them all to work for our good. And if we read into verse 29, God explains just what that good He wants for us is. And let me give you a clue. It's not material comfort or an easy problem-free existence. It is to become like His Son. For our heart, character and life to be like Jesus, growing into perfect, selfless love. I like to imagine my experience in life like a sponge or a cloth and visualize God standing there wringing every little drop of goodness out of it. Sometimes it's hard to imagine how He does that, but He does. Now, as we reflect on our own past experiences, it is helpful to narrow down our search and consider specifically 5 categories. Firstly, where we have served God in ministry previously, where we have found enjoyment and fulfillment in our work or career, and what contributed to that. What subjects or learning matter we are drawn to in our educational experiences. What have been our most significant and meaningful times with God in our spiritual walk. And finally, what are the harmful, the hurtful, the trials, the disappointments, the painful experiences we've gone through in life. And as we prayerfully and thoughtfully consider these, we start to see how we are being shaped and attracted towards our unique ways of serving. Let me share with you an example of how this manifested in my life on a recent occasion. A couple of years ago, I read a very moving, powerfully confronting novel following the spiritual journey of 4 fictitious women called Sensible Shoes. God spoke so much to me through the author's writing that I felt impressed to contact her and invite her to New Zealand, as I wanted to share the incredible stories she had with other women. What transpired was a series of women's spiritual retreats where a space and time was created for women to be still and position themselves to encounter God through the author's messages and simple spiritual practices. And there were so many stories from the weekend of beautiful, deepening relationships with God occurring. I was serving out of my shape, and I can see how God brought together my skills in event management and leading teams, which I had learned through experiences in my work life, with my love of creativity and eye for detail, along with my hunger for a deeper God connection born out of a painful childhood experience growing up with a very absent father. And God crafted them all together in a way that allowed me to serve other women who were hungry for a connection with their Father God. God grew me and challenged me in the way that I had already been shaped. It was a lot of hard work, but I loved it. So what experiences stand out for you? What have you lived through that has created the current reality of who you are? I encourage you to take some focused time and reflect. Even be courageous to consider those painful experiences, the ones you want to forget, or the things you regret. You know, God has a habit of using those to fuel our connection with people who are going through a similar thing. You are on a very exciting journey of discovery, so keep going.